it's Jenny from Homestead Corner. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about keeping the eye on the weather. So one of the things that we really like to pay attention to is the weather. The weather affects so much for all of us, and it really affects the way we prep and some of the things that we prep, because we want to make sure that in the future we have what we need. So I think it's really important. There has been a drought going on, and most of you, I'm sure, know out west is extremely dry, and they are way down on precipitation, and that causes a lot of problems. You're not able to grow the crops that you need to grow and that you usually grow if you don't have enough water. And we are seeing similar here in Maine, obviously not as extreme, but we notice a lot of times we depend pretty heavily in the spring on the snow melting, the runoff from that. And we did not get the snow that we normally get here in Maine. We have a fence out in our yard that is 4.5 feet tall, and most years you cannot even see the top of the fence by the 1st of March before it starts melting. So this year, not even half the fence was covered with snow. We didn't get only about half the snow we normally get. So that really affects the amount of water that is getting absorbed into the ground and the runoff and everything. The rivers are not overflowing like normal, and that's going to affect us later in the year if we do not get enough rain. We need tons and tons of rain to be able to grow the food that we need. And all these big farmers that supply to the grocery stores, they are going to suffer as well. Even, out west is going to be much more difficult than where we are. And people are depending on them to get that food to market. Grains and things like that, a lot of that is grown out in the west. And if they don't have the water, it's not going to get to the grocery store if they can't grow it. They're already struggling for water. If you have rain barrels, get them out. Get them out as early as possible. It does not need to be complicated. We have just a very simple rain collection, and we just use it for gardens. We have access to other clean water on our property, so a small river, and so we have that for drinking water and stuff, but we use that. We collect rainwater for our gardens, so we don't have to use the water from the house. So all of that rainwater is really going to be so precious this year. I have been looking at a few different websites, and I'll put some links down below to where I'm getting some of my information. And like the NOAA Weather Service is, they're predicting an extreme drought in the west of the U.S. this year. And that's something we all need to look at. And how can we prepare for that? What kind of foods are we going to need in our pantries to make it through when they're not at the grocery store? We need to really look at that. This piece is going to affect so many people. Just a simple weather. When you add in storms that come in and stuff like that that destroy crops, and it happens all the time, every year, storms happen, natural disasters. We need to look at just this drought piece as a very good indicator that we need to stock up. Just the stuff that's not going to be able to be grown is going to be missing from the shelves. And then on top of that, any other weather problems that we have in the country are also going to make farming and make growing food even more difficult. So this is just a little video today, and I just wanted to remind everybody, keep an eye on the weather. There is so much that we can really see when we're looking at that. what do we need to prepare for? If we're going to have a massive drought and they can't grow the grains and crops that we are accustomed to having, we need to stock up before it's gone. You know, it will run out if they can't grow it. And that is it for today. Keep your eyes peeled. Keep prepping, everybody. Stay safe out there. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.